Welcome to the Tennessee National here at Windrock Bike Park in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, as we usher in the first UCI race of the 2024 U.S. downhill season. Starting in 2017 as the Pro GRT and now in its 8th year, this event carries a storied past of grassroots racing hedged by world-class riders. Over the years, the podium here has been stacked with top World Cup talent like Danny Hart, Loris Vergier, Frida, and of course, Dakotah, Norton, and Kaylee Skelton, who took the win here just 1 year ago. But we can't talk about the big names that have raced here without mentioning Windrock's newest owner and U.S. downhill royalty, the big man himself, Aaron Gwynn. Aaron and his crew have been hard at work breathing new life into this historic course. So let's go check in with the winner himself for a breakdown on this year's track.
We've got an all-new and freshly updated racetrack for the 2024 Tennessee National. Starting the course off will be a familiar start gate on top of the container. Straight out of the gate, we've got some new changes, new turn around some trees, elevated over a little blind rise into a couple S-turns, and actually shooting riders back into what I believe was the very original Tennessee National track years ago. You come through, there's about 3 or 4 line choices, do a couple little techie sections, and then hang a right-hander. So as soon as riders hop onto Talladega, you rip a couple of quick jumps, and then do a really high-speed flat left-hander that will take you right back into the original middle finger rock garden that riders will be familiar with from years past. The rock garden this year went through changes as well, cut off the edges of a couple rocks to open up a couple different lines for all levels of riders. This rock garden leads us into a newly cut fresh section with lots of line choice. Riders will hit a little step down into the open, super high speed, really hard braking through this section. Important to get slowed down before you go off the next drop and into yet another all-new rock garden for this year. There's a little chicane coming in to slow riders up. There's about 5 different line options through this rock section. We're starting to call it the dinosaur back into a couple S-turns and over the familiar bridge that crosses over Talladega. We've got a whole new section dropping off the bridge. No longer are you doing a hawk and pray, but slowing it down a little bit, veering right after the bridge into another fresh section. This section's got a couple different lines. A lot of roots and things will pop out here, especially if it's muddy. It's going to get really tricky. You'll hang a left, you'll go off a drop or around, and then back into middle finger again. You exit the right-hander, down a little bit of a flat straightaway, and into a really rough section of braking. A lot of line options in here. The track has changed pretty much every year in this section, so it keeps getting wider and wider. There's probably 5 line options coming into this corner. You go through this hard left, and then you'll hang an immediate right onto an off-camber. This is another brand new fresh section this year. Riders will go through this fresh section. You do a big G out across the road, off a new log drop, and then rip back under the bridge, back onto middle finger. Super high speed section of track here. You'll kind of jump down through this next G out. So you're going to hang a really hard right and drop back into a couple of race course turns here. And you'll hang a right. It's important to get that corner right. Time to get on the gas here and kind of empty the tank of whatever's left on the pedals. You'll hit a double through a couple of really high-speed S-turns and then another tricky new turn this year. A couple more little off-cambers up and over and drop down onto Talladega. Speeds will pick up as you're coming across the bridge and down towards the Redneck Ravine. We reworked the right-hander into the shark fin this year so that it opens it up. Scrub the shark fin, then you got a big tabletop, a couple more jumps, the log jump, and then a brand new finish line tabletop for this year. We're super excited for this new course. Our trail crews have been working really hard for months now to get everything ready for the riders, and I can't wait to see everybody on track.
All right, we're with our very own Drew Hager. Drew's been announcing this weekend. He's been down at the bottom of the track, keeping an eye on things as they've developed. Drew, we've had a couple of dusty days of practice. We had some rain overnight. I know you and I talked this morning. We thought things were going to get pretty slick out there. What did you notice as our riders were coming through the bottom of the course during practice?
Yeah, it was a little slick for the first few people coming down. But by the end of practice, it was really starting to firm up and stabilize. I think the wind's starting to kick up. I don't think it's going to have that big of a bearing on the outcome of the race.
I was expecting some more ruts to form, some more holes to develop, but I didn't notice that much myself. Talking to our riders as they were coming off practice this morning, sounds like things were a little bit dicey first thing, but it really firmed up quick. The track is getting fast. I think we're in for some fast racing today, Drew. But before we get to that, let's kick it over to Will Washam for a rundown of yesterday's seating results.
Thanks, Rich. We are all ready to go here in the commentary booth. You look at our elite women's field here, really deep. Emily Harrison, 9th. Caitlin Farmer in 8th. She's a former winner here at Downhill Southeast at Windrock. Maylee Lenall in 7th. McKenna Meerton in 6th. And then your top 5, Abby Ronka, former Downhill Southeast Series overall champ in 5th at Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 10 seconds off the pace of Frida Ronning. Shell Peugeot slotting into 4th with Valentina Roa Sanchez, your junior World Cup overall champ from last year in 3rd. She was 3.9 seconds off the top time of Frida Ronning. Kaylee Skelton in 2nd, a 2-time winner here at the Tennessee National, just 1.7 seconds off that top time set by the Union rider out of Clinton, Tennessee, none other than 2-time Tennessee National champion Frida Ronning, a 2:57.36. Abby Ronka will start us off out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. She's on the Evolve Racing team this year, Drew, and she's going to be our hot seat rider as we move into the top 3. And as you all mentioned, this course is looking prime.
Yeah, considering it rained overnight, it's pretty dry up top, as you can see right here in these turns. Not quite dusty like it was during seeding the day before, but it's rolling pretty good.
And Abby Ronka getting things rolling right here in that critical top rock garden section of the Tennessee National track. A section that we've seen in each edition of this race over the years. And our first glimpse at the cable cam shot as Ronka goes through split number 1 at 1:11.
And as you can see, Windrock, its name is pretty consistent with the conditions we're seeing today. There's wind blowing that tape off the side, and there are rocks everywhere. This place has been mined in the past, and that's why the land is kind of the way it is.
Yeah, it's a gnarly landscape out there. Perfect for downhill racing as Ronka goes through split 2 at 2:18.24. And you'll notice all these little minor changes if you're familiar with the courses here for the Tennessee National. One section that stayed the same, more or less from last year, the Redneck Ravine final jump section. Got a little tune-up on this final jump as Abby Ronka comes across the finish line. She'll break the beam with a 3:12.67, so quite a ways back from that fastest time we saw yesterday, Drew, but it looked like a clean run.
Super clean run, and that's all you can really ask for with this back-to-back technical racing that happens here at Windrock.
As we look to Valentina Roa Sanchez. Es una mujer muy rápido out of Colombia, the 2023 Junior Overall World Cup Series champ. She's getting loose right out of the gate, Drew.
That's right. Valentina's a super aggressive rider. She's about one of the most competitive riders in the women's field. She looks right at home.
Yeah, and I love to see this Talladega section in the racetrack here at the Tennessee National. Kind of mixes it up, gets riders up to a fast pace before they dive into all these steep technical bits. And a very clean run through there from Roa Sanchez, and it's a 1:08. She's up by over 3 seconds. It's split number 1, right up to pace off that rock.
Yeah, and some of the changes they've made to the course this event, it's opened up for multiple line choices instead of just forcing you into the one that exists. And I think we're seeing her going a little bit wider in some of these spots.
Well, she would certainly have the experience to do so. Was dominant on the World Cup Series last year, taking 2 wins and no worse than 4th on the entire World Cup season. She's putting down some horsepower. It's going to be the final sprint before they just let the brakes open to the bottom.
It looks like she just made a pass on course there in the last clip, Will.
Yeah, we'll have to see, get some more information on that. She extends, though, at split number 2, over 4 seconds up for Roa Sanchez. This is going to be a huge run from the Colombian with 2 more riders to go after she finishes this lap. Sanchez going to bury her head down to the line, and she will go fastest to 3:10. So 2.4 up on Abby Ronka, but lost a little bit of time from split 2 down to the bottom. Kaylee Skelton, our next rider out of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. A 2:59 was the time that Skelton put down in seating the RE Bikes rider. Very familiar here with the terrain at Windrock, and dare I say she's been dominant, Drew, with back-to-back wins at this event in 2022 and 2023.
For sure, and for a multi-time national champion in downhill,
I really love to see these California riders come to the East Coast. They really seem to gel well with what happens at Windrock and the lay of the land here.
Skelton again on the high line here that we've seen all these women take so far. And she's right there in touch, Drew.
This is one of the few sections where you can open up and go fast.
Yeah, Skelton certainly opened it up there. She was right in touch with the top split time, just 1/10 of a second back. And that new entrance into that turn, Drew, looks really technical. Skelton with a ton of pace through that right-hander.
Yeah, that's a section I think that most of the racers are glad didn't get affected by the moisture that we got overnight.
Let's see what kind of gas Skelton has in the tank as she comes into this sprint section. She was just in touch with Valentina Roa Sanchez, about 1/10 of a second back at split number 1, split 2. Oh, and she's gone into the green, Drew. She's nearly 2 seconds up now on the Colombian.
She's not wasting any chance to get on the pedals either. Where some racers will just kind of coast in and recover from a section, she just gets right back on the gas and goes.
Skelton keeping it low here in the Redneck Ravine. 2 seconds up, squashes that final jump. What'll this final split say? She crosses the line and extends it 5 seconds into the green, a 3:05.28. That was huge, Drew.
That was great.
And our final rider for the elite women's race here at the Tennessee National, Frida Ronning out of Clinton, Tennessee. She was certainly throwing down in seeding yesterday with that 2:57, and she's a 2-time winner at this race as well in 2020 and in 2021.
Yeah, no stranger to Windrock. This is her local training grounds. She's on that union team, which has excellent support. Very unique race team, and we're really happy to see the support that she's getting this year.
Yeah, Frida cut her teeth coming up through the Downhill Southeast Series here at Windrock, and now doing it on the world stage and just making short work of that rock garden. Love to watch Frida ride. Oh, she's up big. She's up by 1.7 at split number 1, and I know that Frida's just going to be able to extend this as it gets a little tighter and technical. That's where she really excels.
Yeah, I'm certain she can hang on to this, but time's going to show us whether that's true or not.
Ronning, so confident there on that camber. That's certainly the quickest we have seen thus far. Great speed onto this pedal section. Oh, and she is getting it. Doesn't even have to pedal the entire time. Great pace.
Definitely a very fluid rider on these rocks.
And
she's
more.
up almost 3 seconds.
Yes, more time for Frida Ronning. Well, she wanted to get back to her winning ways here at the Tennessee National after Kaylee Skelton won the last 2 races here. Oh, and she's getting some good pump on the backside of these jumps in the Redneck Ravine. So Ronning surely will cross the line fastest. Frida Ronning crosses, and she'll win today in Windrock. It's a 3:02.02. What a run, Drew. She just gave it everything.
Oh, she knows, too. She's got her head down, catching her breath. And this is what I love to see. It's all love at the end of the race here. Everybody supportive of each other.
And your elite women's podium, there's Frida Ronning on top. Kaylee Skelton, second place today. Valentina Roa Sanchez in third. What a race today. We've got Abby Ronka in fourth and Maylee Lenaw in fifth.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel confident again, which is really cool. I had a bit of a bad injury a couple of years ago, so it's been a bit of a rough go to come back, but finally really enjoying riding, and it's good to do. Like, home race is always fun. So super happy, honestly. Like, I finally feel really good riding and had 2 good runs, and I'm super happy with it. There's a lot of fast young girls coming up, and even in the younger categories, like, I was trying to go faster than them too, even though we're not in the same class, because they're really, really good. So it's super cool to have like good competition at a home race, but happy to be able to go fast this year.
And here's our podium from the Junior Expert 17-18 women's class. Matilda Melton for Transition Factory Racing put down a 3:10, right there on par with Valentina Roa Sanchez to take the win here. Kale Cushman in second place and Addison Buckenberger in third. Well, we've got no time to catch our breath, Drew, because we are right back into our UCI Elite Men's Field. Our seating results from yesterday, taking a look at the top 10 from 6 to 10. Separated by just 2 seconds, Alden Pate, Alston Dooley, Cole Sweettoast, Ryan Pinkerton, and Evan Metcalf in a nice tight grouping there. And then you look into the top 5, Seth Sherlock from Gwyn Racing in 5th place with a 2:36. Dante Silva from Canyon Collective in 4th with a 2:34. And the top 3 riders separated by just 1.5 seconds with Dylan Maples in 3rd, Lucas Shaw in 2nd, and Asa Vermette on top by 1.3 seconds with a 2:32.388. And Drew, we are going with Dakotah Norton right out of the gate. He is our hot seat rider. Came down early, had some troubles in seating yesterday.
That's right. He had 2 really good splits, and then he had a flat for the final one. So that pushed him a little bit farther back in seating. I'm sure it's not the way he wanted it to go, but that's racing.
Yeah, he's got enough experience to overcome that, and he's got a ton of experience with the conditions here at Windrock that's going to play to his advantage. And he's straight down the inside line right there. That's such a tough line to hold with pace, and he makes it look easy.
This is his home track. He spends a lot of time here. Who knows how much time he spends on this particular trail, but he's not a stranger to it.
Well, in a 57.17, it's split number 1. That's actually just a second slower than yesterday on the top split. So we can tell this track is certainly running well. As Dakotah dives into these steep and deep turns.
He's on the pedals here. This is a really hard section to, you don't want to lose any speed right there. That's a place there it's super important to maintain some gas.
Well, and Dak certainly not holding back on this run. He's going to lay down a scorcher for everyone to try to chase the rest of the race today. Dakotah Norton through the Redneck Ravine won 3 of the last 4 Tennessee Nationals, so pretty dominant here on the home courses. Norton breaks the beam, and he's going to throw down a 2:33.9. Wow, that is about a second outside that time that Asa Vermette put down yesterday. So the gauntlet has been laid down, Drew, as we go into our top 8. Cole Sweettoast out of Lenoir City, Tennessee. Sweettoast also on a new team for this year. He's on the Defiant Racing team on that GT downhill bike. And Drew, you can see the aggression that he rides with on the pedals everywhere he can get.
That's right, and Cole works here at Windrock. He's one of the people that maintains and builds trails out here. I'm sure he had a lot to do with the reason why the track is the way it is for this race.
Well, and he went outside line right there. Carried a ton of pace.
Yeah.
Split number 1 up. On pace with Dak, just 1.7 back.
Yeah, Cole did pretty good in the whip-off yesterday. He won the Elite Men's Whip-Off.
Well, the guy's got speed.
Young Walker Cottingham won the overall, however, and those sweet tickets to Red Bull Rampage.
Nice. Well, Cole's got style, and he's certainly got speed as well. Multidisciplinary rider. He's had some enduro wins over the past couple years. Even went out to the UCI Pump Track World Championships as he threw it in hard to that right-hander. Trying to hold all the pace he can here on the pedals.
He's definitely breathing heavy there.
He's lost more time, Drew. 4.5 back at split number 2. It's a 152 for Sweettoast. Not much left between Cole and the bottom here at the Tennessee National. Oh, what a scrub.
Showing off a little bit of what he did last night in the whip-off there off the cannon log.
Sweettoast going to break the beam. It's a 2:38, so he'll go into 4th place. 5 seconds off the pace of Dakotah Norton. I have a feeling everyone's going to be chasing Dak all day. But a good run right there from Cole. So we go to Ryan Pinkerton. the first-year elite rider from Mondraker Factory Racing out of Aliso Viejo, California. Pinkerton, a danger man today. He's been waiting on his chance.
This is Dakotah's teammate. I'm sure Dak shared with him all the good lines.
Well, I saw them doing some trains in practice, Drew, so I know Pinkerton's trying to pick up a thing or two from the local legend, Dakotah Norton. Oh, and he's on that inside line just like Dak. And he's 1 second back. It's split number 1. Went deep there over the triple. Man, that off-camber looks pretty grippy right now, Drew.
Yeah, I really do think this track needed the moisture that it got overnight. I'm not so sure that the first racers down the hill would agree, but I think these elite men are definitely enjoying it.
Pinkerton throwing it into that right-hander, and he's on the pedals. Trains with Brian Lopes, so you know he's got Lopes in his head right now screaming to get on the pedals.
That's right, and for anybody that wants to know more about Ryan Pinkerton, oh look, he's down just almost 2 seconds. The Gravity Co-op's Hot Seat podcast did an interview with him just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was so fun to have Pinky on the Hot Seat podcast. A little hard landing right there as he comes in. It's a rider that was dominant last year on the Junior World Cup circuit. 2 seconds back, it's split number 2. What's he done to the finish? Loses a little more time, but he'll go third, a 2:37.19.
Not a bad position to slide into.
Well, we've got Evan Metcalf up next, one of Ryan Pinkerton's training mates, also 19 years old, and he's got a little bit of a wry smile up there because I think Metcalf's been waiting to mix it up with the big dogs in this elite class for quite some time. Had a breakout year last year, podium at the World Cup at Snowshoe, so I know he's ready to do work here in 2024.
For sure, and the season's young for him too. I can't wait to see what he winds up doing this year.
Well, here's Metcalf into this rock section outside, kind of anchors up there to get a good exit. And at 2.5 down, though, Drew, I was thinking when I saw that outside line, it certainly doesn't look as quick as what we saw from Dakotah and Ryan.
No, but still intact with maybe being able to get on the podium here. Let's see what happens farther down the hill.
So Metcalf cracking on. Getting some air out of there, out of a big compression, and pulls up there off that log. Maybe trying to find a little backside. These turns so much steeper than they look on camera. Not a lot of room for error, and you're coming straight into this pedal section.
This seems to kind of be a crux on the track here, Will. You see everybody kind of struggling to stay in the right gear when they come into that section and maintain the speed that they need for this next split here, which he is about 4.3 off.
Yeah, so losing a little bit more time. It's a physical track here at Windrock. It's not that long by time, but every single section seems to have a very unique challenge, so you can never really let off and recover it all. Metcalf, he's going to come over this final jump. It's about 4 seconds back there. It's split number 2. What's he going to do when he crosses the line? He'll go 5th, a 240.29, so not going to be Metcalf's day, but hey, a solid start to the season.
Yep, and now we're getting to the pointy end of the race, though.
Yeah, 5 riders left to go, and here's Seth Sherlock for Gwin Racing on that Crestline downhill bike.
I got to check out the Crestline in person this weekend, Will. And you know, I saw a forum post the other day about should downhill bikes have water bottle mounts on them. And guess what? Crestlines do.
Awesome. Well, Sherlock's not going to need to grab a sip of water on this run because he is trying to get it done expeditiously, pedaling everywhere, getting a ton of speed generated on those Talladega jumps.
That's
he's just looking smooth.
Oh, 1.9 back.
Yep, he is in touch. So 5th place at split number 1. Oh, dove right into that right-hander. Seth Sherlock, he had a top 30 at the Snowshoe World Cup in Elite last year. He's looking to get a few more of those in 2024.
I think he's doing the crest line justice here for his boss on his boss home track too.
Yeah, a little extra motivation here for Seth Sherlock. And I know he's been down here doing some testing on the Crestline bike a little bit earlier this year, split 2. He's also a little more time, but that was a smooth double into the berm. Not losing traction at all. He's 4.6 back, still holding on to 5th place.
Into the fun part of the track here.
Oh, yeah, Sherlock keeping it low. Oh, goes on the other side of that cannon. Well, Sherlock's got some lines up his sleeve. Maybe he kept that one till finals. He's still going to go 5th at the finish line, a 2:39.67, 5.7 seconds off the pace of Dakotah Norton as Dak daps him up down there. There's Boss Man for a little daps as well. Dante Silva, the 21-year-old from Chula Vista, California on the Canyon Collective. A man that is hungry to continue to prove that he is still one of the top dogs here in U.S. downhill with all these youngsters rising up. Dante only 21, Drew, but kind of seeming like a veteran already.
Right. Wasted no time getting up to speed out of the start gate either.
Let's see what Dante does here in this rock section. Inside. Oh, and he's on the edge. That RockShox boxer just eating up the holes. Oh, but he's 2.25 down. That is interesting. So he's 6th at split 1.
All right, he's looking composed. He could get back up in there.
Come on, Dante.
Yep, was able to anchor up there high on the camber.
Sounds like he's got some fans on the track. That'll certainly help.
Silva in these switchbacks. You can see kind of tiptoeing. Some of these are pretty darn narrow. Oh, with a good drive out of that turn, though. On a double, so Silva, he's got a ton of energy down here, Drew. Let's see split number 2 going to come up. Oh, and he's pulled back some time. He's gone up to 3rd place. He's just 3.87 back now.
All right, so he could have some podium position in hand.
Yeah, the podium's still within reach here with 3 riders to go after Dante crosses the finish line. Love to watch his scrubs as he sends that to flat. The Canyon Collective rider out of California, Dante Silva, he'll cross the line and he'll go 4th.
5 back. Okay, well, wide angle podium maybe.
Yep, still got a chance there as we go to our top 3. Our current standings, Dakotah Norton in 1st, Austin Dooley 2nd, Ryan Pinkerton 3rd. As we go to our final 3 riders, Dylan Maples was 3rd in seating yesterday with a 2:33. Commensal Mukoff, factory racer, after that breakout year last year for the 20-year-old.
He definitely seemed to be having more fun than anybody else in the practice runs this weekend.
Oh, he is low. Yeah, low and aggressive there on that Commensal. And this is where this bike's really going to excel.
Wasted no time through that rock section.
Yeah, it looked really smooth and efficient. Actually, the hits were looking less significant on his fork. 1.7 back, Drew. He's in 3rd place.
All right, well, we're intact.
Yeah, Dylan Maples starting to be one of the class of the American downhill field. He was showing it on the international scene last year. Oddly enough, hasn't had a ton of big results on the domestic races as of yet. Caught a little pedal wheelie in between turns right there. Can he carry some pace to this pedal section?
Looked like he was in the correct gear for going into the pedal section.
Yeah, that was looking smooth. Hopefully he's got a little more gas in the tank after that. He's still 3rd.
Right.
So Maples throwing it into those berms, still 3rd place after split number 2. solidified himself as one of the top U.S. riders on the World Cup circuit. Last year had 2 top 20s at Andorra and at Mont Saint-Anne. As the Commensal muck-off rider comes down to the line, can he hang on to that 3rd position? Maples, he'll break the beam. Oh no, go 6th.
Yep, 3.8
Wow.
back.
Not able
It's getting
to
tight.
hold
They're
that.
stacking up on each other right now, Will.
Well, and this man has a ton of experience stacked up in his racing career so far. Lucas Shaw at Pisgah Forest, North Carolina, with the #1 plate here at the Tennessee National. He is our current U.S. national champ, seated in 2nd place yesterday. Drew, can he do one better today?
We're going to see. You notice he's got something hidden on that bike there, Will.
Yeah, was any reporting done on that at the race?
Yeah, we've got some spy shots, and if you want to see it, you're going to have to go to the Gravity Cooperative's Instagram page and check out our reel.
Oh, well, something under that cover is certainly working. Oh, Shaw, no!
Bobble.
Trying to scrub for speed there. Was certainly up to pace, but that's going to put him way back in 6th place. Still able to hit that triple, though.
2.27 back, but if anybody can pull it back, it's going to be Lucas Shaw.
Yeah, man, that has had some success here, but has been unable to get an elusive victory at the Tennessee National over the years. He's kind of trying to get back into sorts, back into this run. It's so tough mentally to switch it back on. He's got 71 World Cup race starts to his name, Drew. 28 years old this year.
All right, our national champion is on the pedals there.
Split #2 coming up, and he's 4th. So he's clawing some positions back, 3.79 back. Still an opportunity for a podium here, top 5 at the Tennessee National.
All right, coming into the fun section.
The fans here at Windrock letting him here at Shaw, trying to stay as low as possible on the Redneck Ravine. The Canyon Collective racer going to come down to the finish line, and he'll go 6th. So was unable to hold that
back.
time. Yeah, 3.85 back with 1 rider to go to mix up this top 5, Drew. And if there's anyone that's going to mix something up, it is going to be this man right here, Asa Vermette. And he's looking serious today out of Durango, Colorado.
He's got that new helmet sponsor. He's got a GoPro helmet sponsor. Nice, beautiful blue helmet.
Yeah, and he's back on the Frameworks racing program, ready to tackle the full World Cup circuit. Just throwing it into the ruts here at the top of the track.
He really likes to push and pull the bike. He's a very fun rider to watch.
Yeah, he manualed a double that most people were jumping up there, and his suspension barely moved on that rock garden.
Oh, look,
It's
at that.
green.
He's up.
Yes, he is, Drew. 0.65 into the green for Vermette. He's on the front wheel just pumping that rock spine. Oh, hold on to it.
Speed. He's got it.
Came unclipped there, but did not seem to phase him, and he doubles the compressions. Wow, he is on a completely other level here, Drew, as long as he can keep this together. Little bit of tiptoeing right there. That is a very technical turn section, and he is back on the gas.
He'll tell you sometimes pedaling's not his strength, but it didn't look like that was any loss to him right there at all. Okay. Oh, yeah, up again.
Yes, he's
Quarter
still up,
second.
hanging on to the slimmest of margins as he gets out of sorts. Well, Vermette trying to compose.
No,
No!
Oh, that's
What?
not good.
How do you go down there? That's crazy. No. Vermette was right there on the sharp end of this field. Well, he's going to be okay, but will not be on the box today. Here is your podium for the Tennessee National. Dakotah Norton going to take the win here. It's going to be Dakotah Norton, Austin Dooley, Ryan Pinkerton, your top 3. We got Tyler Irvin and Dante Silva rounding out the top 5. Another Tennessee national win for Dakotah Norton. Here he is.
Unfortunately, in seating, I had some mechanical issues and didn't really have the time I wanted, but it was reassuring to see the split times and know that I was on pace to be starting last down the hill. Unfortunately, last man down the hill today, Asa had a big crash, and it seems like he's okay. It's a bummer to see that, but overall, dude, it's cool to get the win. I've won this race 2 years in a row. I know that everybody says I ride here, but I really never ride this track. We only ride it really for the race, so it's good to just get the win at home. You don't want to let people beat you at your own bike park, the place I train and where I put in all my work. So overall, good to get it done. Second race with the team and first time having like some real competition other than my teammates. So it's good to get the win, really excited, and exciting to know that I'm on pace with some really fast competition going into the World Cups.
And here's our junior expert podium from the Tennessee National. Dane Jewett on top of the box with a 2:36. Gavin Tomlinson taking home second place with Ryan Griffith in third. Lucas Dodora from Pro Builds Racing in fourth, and Jack Zanoni rounding out the podium in fifth.
Well, race fans, it was great to be back here in Oliver Springs for the 2024 Tennessee National. That's a wrap. On behalf of myself and the entire Gravity Cooperative, we want to thank you all for supporting U.S. Downhill.